Well, hey, ladies. Well, my favorite ice cream is Cherry Garcia. And I just love the cherries in there and the chocolate. And I put in a banana in there. And hey, Melissa, my new Texas girlfriend. Hey. I don't know what all of the lingo is yet, but howdy. I don't know. I'm practicing, y'all. So anyway, I missed you guys in the room, but I'll go live here. And yeah, it's been a very interesting week, shall I say. And yeah, I can't wait. 22 more days and a wake up and my progress. I'm getting better. Lots of boxes finishing up here. And I think I'm winning. I think I'm winning on the war. And so that's helping me to feel better about things. Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy week. I was waiting to hear back from a job that I interviewed in Texas for. And I found out, and again, I'm second runner up. So I'm just really feeling, and you ladies welcome with me. It'll be amazing to see how God's gonna, my big God and our big God, how he's gonna weave this whole story of when I get to Texas. And I'm a little disappointed. Yeah, moving sucks, but I'm the logistics queen from the military, so I'll be able to pack it all up, and I have my car scheduled to go. One of the things as a single woman, I didn't really have any friends to come along on my journey across from Washington to Texas. And that's a lot to ask of somebody to come along. And, if you rent a U-Haul, there's the U-Haul expense. And then if you get a car carrier, and then you got the car, and then you have all of that to navigate. And then driving by myself, and then staying in a hotel, and there's just a lot of theft that can happen, along the way. I mean, it's not like you can't see the U-Haul driving across country. So I just didn't really want to do that. And so I did a cost estimate, and I found out that renting a U-Haul with the car carrier, and then you got gas, and then you have the hotel nights, and then you've got the stress of doing all that versus getting a pod system, transporting my car. And that was a whole research project just in myself. And I'm sure, Melissa, that you know more about this, but the car carrier, that's like a whole shady kind of outfit, and you really have to do your math. You have to do your research, and you have to do your math to make sure you get a good carrier. So I did get Mr. Car Shipper is going to be shipping my car, and it was $200 more than all the other carriers, but also they're gonna be the outfit that's gonna take my car from point A to B. And I only have to deal with them. I don't have to deal with the other carrier that they're going to have that's going to show up here. And I've just heard horror stories where, when they come to pick up your car, they want extra money. And, I just wanted to make sure my car gets there, all in one piece, and that they're insured. So they're insured for $100,000 per car. And each car is individually insured, so it's not a stacked carrier. So that's something I learned. And so, yeah, it's, and then I'm going to fly. I'm going to fly with Mr. Reddy. Mr. Reddy is going to be making his very first airfare. He's going to go with me to Texas. So we got a one-way ticket, and we're going to be flying. So that's how our move's going. And I really hoped that I would have had a job going down there, but that's not the case. So God's going to weave something really spectacular together for how I'm going to financially support myself. So that's going to be really interesting. And yeah, this week's been really big, a lot of decisions. And I don't know if you ladies ever, really stand in speaking your truth. And I really had an opportunity in a group situation to go and support another person in a video meeting with an organization. And it was really powerful to go in there to support another person on a call to open some dialogue about change in an organization. And the cool part was that I was a little nervous going in there. There's been some disconnect with this particular organization. And it was kind of cool because when I was able to speak up in this particular meeting, that I was actually afforded an opportunity to have my own separate meeting with this organization. And I can really tell you that that's been really powerful to speak my truth, to really be professional about it and really get to how I can help solve the issue that happened with me and how that could potentially not happen with others and be a solution and be part of the positive side of things to affect change throughout an organization. And that felt really good for me to speak my truth and to stand up to some powerful people. And yeah, that was just really amazing. And the other thing is not only all of the work that I've done to stand in this place, because, that type of personality is one where I typically go into a fawn response. And that's something that I've really been working hard on. So it was nice to be able to have that conversation and to be professional about it and to have another whole meeting that's going to happen. I'm really excited about that. And also having a community around me, I've met some really wonderful people on this journey. Hi, Christy. I've met some really wonderful people on this journey, some inner circle men and women that have been very supportive and kind. And, when you're trying to advance yourself and learn and grow and do the type of work to be a professional, upright, standing woman who stands by her convictions and speaks her truth and sets boundaries and escalates and communicates through things and is healthy and secure, there's an inner circle that's required. And in order to get to the next level, sometimes you have to learn from others, and sometimes you're encouraged, and there's a lot that goes into it. It is your personal development journey, but there's a lot of people that play into that, how they support you, how they encourage you, who falls off your personal development path, the people who were there for a short period and now they're not, and the others that come in. And as you start stair-stepping up in your personal development cycle, there's really an amazing weaving of this new support structure. And, I'm going to Texas and I'm doing this move on my own, but yet I have this wonderful support system that's part are in person and some are long distance. And it's been really nice to be able to bounce off ideas and bounce off what I'm going through. And it's quick when you have an inner circle to kind of offload. Hi, Robin. To offload some of the things that you might be struggling with. Like when you're with a viable inner circle, they ask questions and they, why did you do this? Or why is that important to you? Or how are you thinking about that? Or have you thought about this? Or, going into this meeting, just being able to have a safe person to plan, and understand the personalities and, kind of go into, when you're in professional circles, there's psychological profiling, how is this person going to act? And, you can have different ways in which you're going to show up and how you're going to talk about different things. So it's just really wonderful to have coaches. I'm surrounded by a bunch of other coaches, and I haven't had this level of support and care and integration and just interest in how I think, and being able to bounce things back and forth. And it's been wonderful this week to be able to have all this stuff that's happened behind the scenes with the move and this meeting that happened yesterday, and getting a refund on some services that I had requested a refund, and then the refund didn't come, and then now I'm getting the refund. And so just really advocating for myself, it feels very powerful. And that means that there's a lot of personal development work that happens, and commitment to staying on that path, to be aligned with your own core values, your own beliefs, your standards. And when things don't match up, you just let them go. And it's just a wonderful feeling with all of that. And I don't know if any of you ladies are having some wins like that, and so those were some of my wins this week. Getting more of my boxes packed up. Every single day I do a little bit more, and then planning for that meeting, and just following intuition. There's been a lot of intuition, the positiveness of being able to know how my body reacts, both emotionally and body sensations, and what it feels like when I pay attention to intuition. So that's been a really big win. And then being in that meeting and speaking my truth, and then having my own separate meeting where I can talk about the things that are important to me and what I would like to see changed. Taking a positive, integrated approach to it instead of being antagonistic. And I think sometimes there's a fine line between being antagonistic and being part of the problem, and then being part of the solution and thinking about things and how you can play a role for positive change. So yeah, and another win is eating ice cream tonight, having a glass of wine. And, this morning I had brunch with my massage therapist that I've been with for 5 years. We started a relationship just after I left my marriage, and my body was just in shambles. And I started going to massage therapy every 2 weeks. And she's an excellent practitioner of cranial sacral work, where cranial sacral is the body fluid, the spinal fluid that runs from the back of your neck all the way down to your spine, your tailbone. And it's really can determine the health and help you move forward with trauma healing with your nervous system if you have cranial sacral therapy. And she's a very skilled practitioner with cranial sacral therapy. And she also does pranic healing, a lot of energetic healing with decording, and also eliminating energy cords or stuckness, and putting shields in for when you have energetic cords to other people or situations. And just really a wonderful person who's now turned my friend. And we had our celebratory brunch this afternoon, celebrating our friendship, and that I'm going to see her again in Austin. And yeah, she's just been a really incredible friend. And ironically, she was there the day that I had to put my other sweet, adorable kitty cat back. I had to put her down last year, and Brio was with me. And today she was there with me when I got the news about the job. So it's really helpful to have wins and have friends along the way that you can trust. And maybe there's a provider or somebody in your circle, a massage therapist or personal trainer or manicure or pedicure person that turns friend. And those are really wonderful relationships to have. Then we went and looked for Halloween stuff. And oh my God, if you guys have a Home Goods by you, there was some amazing stuff there. And I had to, she's a very big Halloween nut. And so that was kind of fun for me to go see what was in there. So we went to Home Goods, we went to Ross, and we went to, what was the other one? Marshall's. And wasn't too impressed with what was at Ross, but Home Goods, we scored a lot. And she really does up her studio. She has 2 massage rooms and does yoga there, and just has a wonderful decoration for Halloween. So I'm excited to see what she's going to put in there. And I scored a cancellation massage. So if that's something, if you, I don't know if you ladies do that, but that is important work too after divorce and separation and healing from narcissistic abuse, is just taking care of your body. That, excuse me, there is stored trauma that gets in your body. These emotions just go to different parts. And one of the things that I've really been struggling with for the last 2.5 years is frozen shoulder. And frozen shoulder, if you think about like the shoulder girdle, that all ties into your neck and to your throat, the throat chakra. And so any stress that's up in this area is really tied to that throat chakra and speaking your truth. And that also is tied back into the cervical spine. So it can be really important during this season to go into taking care of your body. And there's a lot of body workers, and I highly recommend having a chiropractor on your healing team. Also having a massage therapist on your team. And even sometimes to having a PT, a physical therapist. And I know for a little bit, I was seeing one for breathing, for diaphragmatic breathing. There was definitely some stuckness again in my solar plexus and that whole area. And I was able to work with that physical therapist, and that was all tied into the shoulder as well. And then I ended up going into Pilates, and there was a lot of hip dysfunction that was tied into the diaphragm and also the shoulder. And so there is a lot that happens when you go through a divorce or separation or healing from narcissistic abuse with stored trauma, and how it impacts your body, how it impacts your brain, and how it impacts your emotions. And so it's really essential to have body workers on your healing team. And yeah, I know a lot of times people think that body workers that's a luxury. But when you're coming through and when you're welcome. And yeah, get a massage therapist too. When you're going through that level of trauma, there's just this tension that your body holds on to. And it can really cause a lot of issues with neck tension, holding tension in your neck. It can cause ringing in the ears. You can, like, if you're cleaning your ears and it's really painful, that's just a sign that your vagus nerve is really activated, which means your nervous system is very activated. And that all makes sense. You're going through great stress and anxiety. And there's just this interweaving of mind, body, and spirit. And all of those need to be dealt with when you're healing from divorce or separation or narcissistic abuse or trauma, that all those things end up being wound together. The way we think about things or the 4Fs, the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, that's our nervous system. And if that's all activated, that's causing other issues like elevated heart rate, anxiety. It's causing GI issues. We may have other issues like constipation. All of the tension really causes major body issues. And, there can be the nervous system. Then you could also have PTSD and how your body and your mind works through all of the trauma and then the triggers. And so it's just this insidious thing. It's just this big ball with all these things all woven together, and each layer has to be unwound. And that's why it's so essential to have a therapist and have body workers, and to really double down on health and wellness to help your body heal, help your mind heal, help your spirit heal, and reading the Bible and being in a Bible study. And so it's all interwoven, ladies. And, it's been, I'm really happy to have had a body worker as skilled as Bria for the last 5 years. And I wish she was here, because that would be kind of fun for her to talk about the shape that my body was in when I first went to see her. I was just a wreck. I was sleeping, 12 hours a day, and just had frozen shoulder and had breathing problems, anxiety, and a whole bunch of other things. And now I think I'm okay. I still have a little remnants of the frozen shoulder, but that's going to work through. And yeah. So thank you, ladies, for joining tonight. And I just want to remind everybody that starting every Friday night, I'll have a room and I'll open it up, and we can do a live like this if you want to show up. And yeah, you can bring wine. I've got some wine, a nice Pinot Grigio, a nice Pinot Gris here from Oregon. I'll have to have some of that shipped in, because this area is really good for white wine, especially from the Willamette Valley. And King's Estate is my favorite wine. So this is a Pinot Gris. So I have to find that in Texas. And yeah, come in your jammies, lay in your bed, do whatever. I will put a poll up there. Do you guys want to be on video? Like, that's one of the options with the Facebook room, is that everybody can interact. Like, instead of just being here and texting, which is great. If this is something that you guys prefer, I'll continue doing this, and I'll have a topic that I can talk about. And in the room, we can interact. And so, Paso Robles wine, yes. There's a really good down here in Oregon too, but I also saw that Texas has a really good wine country that I'm going to have to take advantage of. So yeah, bring a glass of wine, bring ice cream, come in your jammies, do your nails. I just want to offer a different opportunity for folks. I'll do this until I go on a date, I guess. This will be Friday night date night. Just drop in if you want to, if you're feeling a little low, want to connect or whatever. I'll do this on Friday nights. And again, I'll have to put a poll in the group to see what time works best for you guys. And Melissa, you and I are going to be on the same time zone, Central Time Zone. So yeah. I guess I do have the opportunity to bring other people on the video, but it only allows me to bring 3 other people. And so I won't do that to anybody tonight unless you want to, and or next time. But in the room, we can have 50 people in there. And so there'll be a little screen if you wanted to come in. So I'll drop that into the group, and then you guys can vote on that and let me know. So thank you, Melissa and Robin and Christy, and anybody else who came on board. I was really surprised that this many people were on the live. And I look forward to continuing the conversation about health and wellness and all things about healing our mind, body, and spirit after divorce, you're welcome, after divorce, separation, narcissistic abuse, and being single. I think that can be stressful too, being on dating apps and being ghosted, or not getting a job, or, whatever we're going through all of the legal stuff that happens with divorce, or whatever you're walking through. And I just want to have a safe place for ladies, because it's very difficult to connect and talk about things involving being single women. And I can only really do this with other single ladies. Like my married ladies don't understand. And so I just want to offer this connection point for anybody who wants to connect. And, maybe you have some single ladies that you connect with. And if you don't, you'll be able to do that here. And again, we have over 200 ladies in the group, and just want to provide another opportunity to talk about wins things that you're struggling with, that there's going to be other women on this call and there's other viewpoints. There's not just me. There's so many other ladies that could offer some solutions or empathy or compassion, or maybe they've gone through the same thing and we have advice within the group. That's the beauty about developing a community, is we have support and we have all this collective knowledge. And being a single woman, you don't have a partner or anybody else to help in decision making. And sometimes it's helpful just to throw that out to the universe, like, hey, does anybody know about this? And so if anybody has to transport a car, I know more about that. And so maybe there's somebody else in the group that knows something about whatever it is that you need advice on. So yeah, we're going to do this every Friday night and we'll keep that going. So I'll put a poll in the group. Thank you for coming, and I look forward to talking with you soon. And have a great night, ladies. Take care. Bye-bye.